Love the way you do. Just hold me tight. No words I needed. No one knows me like you. Love the way you do. Just hold me tight. No words I needed.
Call-in show coming up. Big up everyone who's tuning in the K-Mac channel. Coming up now.
No one knows me like you. Love the way you do. Just hold me tight. No words I needed.
Hello everybody, I hope you are well today. It's been quite a while since I did a call in. It's been a couple of weeks. A lot has happened since then. If you've just watched the game tonight, wow, it was absolute madness, absolute carnage. And yeah, Spurs got beat, which is great news because that means we're all kind of level again. It means the title race is kind of still on. We're only a point or two behind the others, which is good. That point against Luton could be really, really vital, which is crazy. A point against Luton could be really vital in the final run-in. But it is what it is. I'm sorry, like Jackson is crap. Like he is an absolutely dreadful player. Like I think my nan could have scored that hat trick. Like honestly, like he is a really, really bad player. Like, like good luck Chelsea with him. Madness with the tactics playing that high line. I thought we played a high line, but my God, like they played in Chelsea's half. Like all they had to do was put the ball past the halfway line, and they were all onside because you can't play offside when you're in the other team's half. It was crazy. Anyway, big up everyone. If anyone wants to call in, please do. The link is in the chat. I pinned it in there. Happy to have you on and chat to you. Obviously, be respectful and no bad language, please. If you've got any questions, please whack them in the chat as well. Let's talk. I wanted to cover a couple of things in my show today, but I obviously will talk to other people if they come on the show as well. But I really did want to talk about this Klopp 2.0, or is it Linda's 1.0? Because I think we need to really understand that the fact that what we are seeing now is not Jurgen Klopp's team. It's not Jurgen Klopp's team. It's not Jurgen Klopp's tactics. These aren't Klopp tactics. This isn't Klopp's team. You look at the players we're signing, they're not Klopp players. They're just not. Like to the exception of Dominic Szoboszlai and maybe McAllister, to those exceptions, but the rest of the players are not Klopp signings. Like Klopp would never have signed a Suarez. He just wouldn't have. Klopp wouldn't have signed a Coutinho. That's why he sold him. Like they're not Klopp signings. Klopp likes his meat and two veg type of player. Like he likes his Hendersons. He likes his Milners. He likes his Wijnaldums. He likes his Manes. He likes his solid players who you know what you're going to get every game. They're gonna give you a 7 out of 10. They're gonna do exactly what they're told. They're not mavericks. They're not showboaters. You know, if there's if there's a chance for them to score, but they won't score, and there's an opportunity for someone else to have a better chance, Klopp buys the players to pass the ball to the other player. That's what Klopp does. That's the type of guy Klopp wants. That's the type of guy Klopp signs. It's why he signed a Minamino. It's why he signed a Shaqiri. You know, he signed these players because they are reliable 7 out of 10s in every game. They'll give you a 7 out of 10. They never have bad games. They don't go missing. They give you maximum effort. You know, they'll pass the ball well. They'll control the ball well. They'll make sure the ball doesn't get given away. They'll make sure they don't pass the ball to a player who's not in a position to pass it to. You know, you've got these type of players the Klopp signs. You've got a Nunes, you've got a Diaz, you've got a Gapco. These guys aren't Kostas Tsimikas. These guys aren't Klopp players. They're just not. Like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing people who can have off games. I'm seeing people who think for themselves too much. I'm seeing players that aren't understanding the instructions all the time. I'm seeing players that go off script. You know, this isn't a Klopp team anymore. This isn't going to win you a title. It may win you a cup, but Brendan Rodgers, Rafa Benitez, Gerard Houlliers, you know, Kenny Dalglish's, those Liverpools, they could win you a cup. They could win you a cup. Liverpool can always win you a cup. We can always win you a cup. We can always get to a final in a cup competition. Liverpool's always been able to do that. It's in our DNA. Doesn't matter what manager we have. Doesn't matter what type of players we have. We can still get to cup finals. We still find a way. We still have the 12th man in the fans for cups. We always have. We always will. But it's leagues that we want. It's league titles. It's challenging. We ain't going to do it with this team. We ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do it the way we play. It's not going to happen. You know, we're going to drop points against poor teams. We're going to be out-tacticked by other managers. We just are. Like, it's just not there. I don't think it's ever going to be there. You know, it looks like the team's evolving from Klopp's team into a Linda's team. Like, if you can't see it, then you're blind, because we are watching it happen. We are watching Klopp's team die last season. The first half of last season, that was the last dregs of Klopp's team. That was the last drop of whatever magic serum that Klopp had been putting inside those players for the last couple of years. You know, title challenge after title challenge, cup final after cup final. Like, he got everything he could out of every single player. Like, he got everything he could out of those tactics. You know, he rinsed it as much as he could. And it just, it ran out. It ran out last season. The middle of last season, just after Christmas, it ran out. There was nothing left. And then Pep and Linda's took to stage. He really did. He took to stage and went, right, it's time to do something new, boss. Okay? It's time to do something new. I was doing the inverted. I was doing the inverted right back at NEC. Try it, boss. Try it. It's going to work. Trent's going to be amazing in this role. Try it. And then he gives it to Linda's. And Linda's is running the training. Linda's is running the tactics. Linda's is running the transfers. Like, you really need to see this. You really need to open your eyes, because Jurgen Klopp is just the figurehead. He is just the figurehead now. Like, he's the guy on the sidelines. He's the guy who does the interviews. He's vacant. He is not running the show anymore. He is literally handing over to Linders. We have to understand this. We have to see this with our eyes now, because there is nothing in the games which is tactically Klopp. It just isn't. He's not doing the super subs. He's not doing the subs at the same times that he usually does. We all know Klopp. We all know what he does. We all know the tactics he plays. We all know it. It's not there no more. It's not there no more. Like, Real Madrid last season was not Klopp. Sorry, it just wasn't. It just was not. It wasn't Klopp at home. It wasn't Klopp away. It's madness. It's madness what we are doing now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple of things, okay? And like, it's really good to see you guys in the chat, and it's really good to see your comments. Linda's is already in there. Linda's isn't being groomed. Linda's is already running the show. Linda's is on the touchline. Like, watch the game. Watch the game. Linda's is on the touchline during the game. Okay. I know assistant managers do get involved and they stand on the touchline. I do get that. But I'm telling you, Linda's is all over this Liverpool team now. All over it. Transfers, training, tactics, all over it. Anyway, wanted to touch on a couple of things. First thing, inverted. Okay. I hate it. I think it's a pile of shite. Okay. I genuinely hate the inverted roles. Okay. It just doesn't work for me. There's not I don't see any benefit in playing these tactics. I just don't, because what it does for us is it takes away our width, takes away our threat, which is wide players, because who gets the most assists for Liverpool and who gets the most goals for Liverpool are wide players. All the assists come from the wing backs and all the goals come from the wingers. And we now are taking away the threat of the wing backs because they're coming in, and the wingers because they haven't got the outside man to take away their foil. So when they go, they've now got two men on them because there's no fullbacks running beyond them. Like, it's so obvious. Like, it's so obvious that Salah is now having to cut in more, and Diaz and Jota have to cut in more. Like the threat of running around and having that man that goes down the side and puts the ball in, which we scored so many goals in, is not there no more. It's gone. Okay, so don't think it's going to come back, because it's gone. Because that's how we play, and that's how Linders plays. Okay, that's not how Klopp plays. It's how Linders plays. And the evolution of going from squashbuckling, heavy metal football, 3 passes and you're in. Like, literally, goalkeeper to Virgil, right down to Salah, right across to Firmino or Mane, 1-0. Like, literally 3-4 passes, or Ali to Trent, Trent to Robbo, Robbo to Bobby. How many times did we see that? How many times did we see that under Klopp? Like, the midfield weren't there to create anything. The midfield were there to press the team of the opposition back into their own half, or press them so far up that they'd lose the ball and we'd have an easy goal, which we scored so many doing that. But the breaks and the directness, it's all gone. It's all gone, because you can now throw a blanket over the entire team in the middle of the park, because everyone's there. Everybody's there. Trent's there. Robbo was there. Like Salah's in there. Diaz is in there. Joss is in there. Nunes is in there. If Nunes isn't playing, Gapco's in there. And then you've got Mac in there, Dom in there, and Jones in there. They're all just in there. Just a big pile of mishmash, all in the middle of the park. And it's like a mad woman's shite. It's absolutely horrendous. Now, I'm going to just talk about a couple of things, okay? And this is when Liverpool died, Klopp 1.0 died, and Linda's 1.0 began, okay? 38 games we played last season, yeah? We conceded first in 17 of those games last season, okay? And that was in the first half. So we conceded in 17 of the 38 Premier League games that we played last season. And every time was in the first half. Okay. That was the worst season we've ever had under Klopp. And we finished 5th. Okay. Now, what we need to think about as well is in those games, we only beat 3 teams out of the bottom 12. Okay. So we only won against the likes of Everton, yeah, Fulham, and Wolves. Okay. Every other team we got beat by. We got beat by 2 teams that were bottom of the table when they beat us last season. Okay. Now, you can talk about credit in the bank and you can talk about he's won us everything. But the best thing that could have happened last season for us is Klopp should have been sacked. Klopp should have been sacked at Christmas last year. And then over the Christmas break, we should have got a new manager in. And then we could have had a restart. And he could have had now 2 transfer windows under him. And that could have been a number of managers. But what's going to happen now is we are going to transition from Klopp to Pep and Linders. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Klopp isn't signing a new contract in 2026. He really isn't. And if you think he is, then you're out of your mind. Because Klopp would have done 11 years at the club. And I'm sorry. If you're spending 11 years at Liverpool and you've only won 1 cup of each, not like 2 or 3, 1 cup of each in 11 years, that's an utter failure. That is an utter failure. Kenny Dalglish won us a cup in half a season. Do you think if we'd kept Kenny for another 2 years, he would have won us more trophies? Yeah, he would have. Because Kenny was a winner. Kenny got us to final. He got us to 2 finals. Kenny got us to 2 finals. Seriously. I'm not having it. I'm just not having this massive, oh my God, he's the savior. We can't do anything without him. Yes, we fucking can. And we have, and we will. But if we go from Klopp 1.0 to Linda's 1.0, then we are in mediocrity. We are in mediocrity. We are. We're going to sign loads of Dutch players. We're going to sign loads of players from possibly Portugal. It's going to be Klopp that chooses the next manager, and it's going to be Pep and Linders, because Klopp might move up into a director role. Like, that is a possibility. Like, there's a possibility he could become the next director of football. And that's the reason why we haven't got a director of football planned, because it could be Klopp. Nobody's even thinking of these things. Like, Michael Edwards walked because of Linders and because of Klopp. Like, we all know that. You just need to read the media articles. And this season, although we're third, and we are fucking lucky we're third, by the way, because we have played shite. We have played some horrendous football this season, and we have been very, very lucky to have Alisson in goal. Because I'm going to give you some stats on Alisson, and like, we are so lucky to have this guy, and we're so lucky that he signed a new contract not long ago. Okay, so let me give you a breakdown of how good we've been this season. Yeah. Okay, we played 11 games in the league. We conceded 6 times first. Is that good? Tell me if that's good. Because we conceded against Bournemouth first. We conceded against Newcastle first. We conceded against Wolves first. We conceded against Tottenham first, Brighton first, and Luton first. Okay? And we can talk about the fact that we're third, which is pure flukiness, by the way, if you ask me. And there may be an element of Pep Linder's tactics have been so shit in the first half in games that Klopp might have literally said, Pep, we're making these subs or we're sacking this inverted for the second half because it's just crap. It's a very good chance it could have. And what we need to look at is, I went onto SofaScore and I picked out the lowest rating on SofaScore on every game this season that we played. Okay? And the interesting thing is, it's either the right back or the defensive midfielder who has been the lowest score. And that's not a coincidence. And I'd say it's by design, but it looks like it is by design, because the tactics are basically making the right back who plays inverted look shit and the DM who plays defensive midfielder look shit. And we'll talk about the DM in a minute as well. Okay, Chelsea, and we also need to look at the amount of shots we have and the amount of shots on target that we don't have, because this is a big issue. This is a big issue, okay? Right. And this is just the first 11 games, okay? This is the first 11 games of this season. Like, I haven't looked at exactly how we played last season, but I have some bits about that, but I haven't got the Pacific every single game, because I'm not going to spend all day writing down all the games we played and everything about them, because that was last season. However, the last half of last season is when we did inverted, so I've got some information for that. Chelsea, 13 shots we had in that game, 1 shot on target. 1 shot on target. Trent Alexander-Arnold got a 6.5 on SofaScore. And guess where he played? Inverted. Bournemouth at home, 26 shots on target. 26 shots on goal. Sorry. How many shots do you think we had on target? 26 on goal. 10. 10. And we conceded first, and we possibly could have had a goalkeeper sent off in that game. And McAllister got a 6.3 DM. Yeah. Are you seeing the common theme? It's either the DM or it's either the right back who has a shit game, or the left back, by the way. So it's either or, okay? Newcastle, 9 shots on goal, 4 on target. We conceded first. We obviously got Virgil sent off, and we had two wonder goals by Nunes off the bench. Trent got the lowest the lowest rating in that game, 6.4. Villa, 3-0 at home. 17 shots on goal, 4 on target. That game wasn't as clear cut as everybody thinks. Really wasn't. McAllister got a 6.7, the lowest score for Liverpool. Not for Villa, but for Liverpool. Wolves, we won 3-1. We went a goal down as well to Wolves, by the way. 16 shots, 6 on target. Gomez, 6.6, played as right back. Had a poor game. West Ham, 3-1. 22 shots we had on goal. 7 on target. Matip got the worst score in that game, 6.8. Tottenham, we all know about that game, 2-1. They scored first. 12 shots on goal, 4 on target. McAllister had a stinker, 6.5. Obviously, Jones got sent off. Jones got a low score because he wasn't on the pitch long. But McAllister had the worst score. He played 90 minutes, 6.5. Brighton, 2-2. We conceded first. 14 shots on goal, 4 on target. Trent, lowest score, 6.9. Look, we can see that the right back or the DM is the worst player on the pitch because the fans are voting that score. The fans are deciding that he has the lowest score. This could be this is out of thousands and thousands. This isn't just me or a pundit. This is like a mean average. It's like a poll. Like taking a poll, who do you think was the worst player on the pitch? Bloody blah. There you go. So it's not directed at Trent, like as in, well, look, I don't think Trent's great. I don't, but that's not my opinion. This is an opinion of everybody who's been watching the game and voted. Okay. Everton, 2-1. Sorry, 2-0 at home. 26 shots on goal, 6 on target. Like our strikers aren't hitting the target for one thing. Like you're creating so many shots. You're not having any shots on goal. Like there are very, very few games where we're actually getting over 5 shots on goal. Like I could go the other way because every game Ali's making 2 or 3 brilliant saves. He really is. Kostas Tsimikas, 6.6 in that game. He had a stinker. Like Trent, 7.2. He was the next player. So you got your right back and your left back both having shit games. And Everton, we beat 2-0. And that wasn't clear cut. That wasn't clear cut at all. We could have been 1-0 down in the first minute against Everton. Nottingham Forest, 3-0 at home. 21 shots on goal, 8 on target. 6.8. Who do you think got that? Trent. Luton, 1-1. They scored first. 24 shots on goal we had. 24 shots. 6 on target. 6 on target. And they were all Nunes. They were all Nunes. Apart from Jota. Jota was 1. McAllister. Stinker. 6.8. Okay. I hope you kind of get my point that the inverted is crap and it's producing crap performances from the right back who plays inverted, or the left back who plays inverted, or the DM who plays in the middle pivot, who plays in the double pivot with the inverted right back. Okay? So you've now got McAllister playing a DM with Trent. Okay? Now we need to have a look at McAllister. Right. I got some stats of McAllister last season playing as a number 8 for Brighton. Okay? McAllister played 35 games for Brighton. He scored 10 goals. He got 2 assists. He had 80 shots. 80 shots he had for Brighton last season. 28 on target. 8 free kicks. 6 penalties. I'll stop there, okay? Because then we're going to go into passing and tackles, which is the interesting point, okay? So far this season for Liverpool, he's been playing DM. 11 games, 1 assist, okay? 7 wins, 3 draws and 1 loss with him in the team as a DM, okay? Now this is the interesting one. 5 shots. He's not shooting. He's not shooting. And 1 on target. No free kicks, no penalties. Okay, that was going to be something that we were gonna have to get used to, is the fact that we're signing McAllister, who's a free kick taker and a penalty taker for Brighton, and we're not going to use him because we're going to use Trent. Because guess what? How many free kicks has Trent scored recently? How many penalties has Salah scored? Like, you know what I mean? You should be signing players who are good at what they do. Like McAllister's not taking any free kicks. Like Dom's not really taking any free kicks. Like, I'm sorry, but Trent, step back, mate, because you ain't doing the business. You're reminding me of Cristiano Ronaldo at your free kicks. You score 1 every 3 seasons. Like, McAllister scores free kicks. Dominic Szoboszlai scores free kicks. Like, and they both take penalties really well. So I'd be moving Salah off and I'd be playing Dom for the pens, or even McAllister. McAllister done it like in the 94th minute against Man United to get a draw or a win. I think it was a win, and he's also done it in the World Cup final. Anyway, okay. So these are where the interesting stats are about McAllister. 1,844 passes last season for Brighton. 1,586 completed. Like, he is an 86th percentile for passing. That is staggering. I mean, he is absolutely brilliant at passing the ball. 713 passes he's already done this season. 625 completed. 87% for passing for Liverpool. Where are those passes? Where are those passes? Are those passes in the second part of the pitch, third part of the pitch, or fourth part of the pitch? Because most of the Brighton ones were in the fourth and the third, so they're much higher up the pitch in the opposition's half, where they can really create and really push the team the other way. Most of ours are just in front of our back 4 or back 2 this season, so they're in an area which isn't going to create anything. You're sideways passing. You're passing the ball out to pass to another midfielder next to you. You're not pushing it into the channels. You're not pushing it up to Nunes. That 1 assist, we know about that. That was for Nunes. Anyway. Now, this is interesting as well. 70 tackles he did last year. In 35 games, he did 70 tackles and won 39. He doesn't win challenges. 48%. He's a 50-50 guy. Like, hang on a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sign a midfielder who's really good at passing, scores goals, can't tackle, I know, I'm going to play him as a defensive midfielder. Are you fucking out of your mind? Like you're buying a player to play him in a position that he's not good at. Like, the stats don't lie. If you're looking at what he did last season as a benchmark to what he's going to do this season, then you're clearly buying the wrong player to put in that position. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I've just got to sort my dog out. 2 seconds. Okay. So far this season, 27 tackles in 11 games, 15-1. So he's lower. He's 47% at winning his duels. Look, last year he got 8 yellow cards, so he's got a foul in him. He's already got 5, and he had a red card rescinded. Like, we're putting him in a place where he shouldn't be. Like, 35 fouls he committed last year for Brighton. He's already committed 21 fouls this season for Liverpool. Like, why are you doing this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're hamstringing your team, and you're playing players that shouldn't be playing in those positions. Like, I'm really confused by it. Like, it's not making any sense. I'm sorry, I've got to go again. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys, my dog was just going crazy outside. Okay, right. Okay, so we're buying a player that we're hamstringing the team with, and we're also hamstringing the player. So we're basically putting the player in positions that he can't control. He can't control. Like, I'm watching McAllister now, and McAllister looks tired. He looks knackered. He looks like a Fabinho last year. He looks dead on his legs after 60 minutes. He's making last-ditch tackles. He's going to get more red cards. He's going to get more yellow cards this season. Like, if we carry on doing what we're doing to him, then we're going to ruin him, and we're going to turn him into a player that loses confidence, and then he's not going to be able to get back to the standards that he sets and the way he plays. And all you need to do is look at McAllister for Argentina, because Argentina are on fire. Like, I don't think they've lost a game in 3 years. Like, they score a ridiculous amount of goals. They don't concede. I don't think they've conceded in like 30 odd games. Like, that's all you need to know. Like, McAllister isn't being played as a DM. Like, he's being played as a central midfielder, number 8, stroke number 10. That's what he's getting played as for Argentina. Like, okay, I've said all I want to say about McAllister. Agree with me or don't agree with me, but I think most people will agree with me. Okay, so now I want to look at Trent. I'll say it here now. I've said it on a couple of shows already. If we got 150 million I will pack Trent's bags and drive him to the airport. Because this guy is the reason why we are all over the place. He is a massive, massive problem for Liverpool. He really is. He's more of a problem for Liverpool than Gomez. And we thought Gomez was bad. Like, I'm going to start giving you some numbers on Trent because people just need to understand that this guy might give you a Hollywood pass every now and again, but we don't need Hollywood passes. We don't need Hollywood passes. We've got about 4 players on the pitch that can do them. We don't need this guy. This guy's a liability. This guy's now I'm starting to look at this guy now like I was looking at Henderson and Fabinho now. He's a liability. Okay, let me give you some numbers. Okay, so far this season, okay, we've only played 11 games. Okay, 11 games, 2 errors to goals in 11 games. Okay, I find those stats alone enough to have alarm bells. If you've got a guy who's committing goal scoring errors on a regular basis, then you're in the territory of a Tyrone Mings. You know, you're in the territory of a Michael Keane for Everton. Like, you're looking at those type of players that give away howlers. Trent's done that twice this year already, and he possibly could have done it about 6 times if it wasn't for Alisson or it wasn't for ditch tackles from Virgil. Tackles per game. We all say Trent's a defender. Trent puts in 1 tackle every game. 1 tackle. That's the average. I'm going off FB Ref. Clean sheets. We've had 1 clean sheet with Trent in the team. 1. And that was Aston Villa at home, where he probably had his best game. Yeah. 1 clean sheet. How many assists? How many assists has Trent got? Does he normally get like 17 assists a season? He's got 1 assist this year. 1 assist. Trent's on average this year to get 4 assists at this rate. 4 assists for Trent. Tell me why he's in the team. Tell me why he is playing this fucking free role where he just roams around doing what he wants. Because he ain't controlling shit and he ain't providing anything. 1 assist this year. Have a word. Possession lost. This is a really interesting one. He's lost possession 17% of the time. 17% in games he loses possession. That is frightening. That is a real worry because he's in a prime position where if he loses possession, we get picked off. And guess who's the man behind him? Konate. And I'll talk about Konate as well. We need to have a chat about Konate as well. Okay, so Trent is this roaming player that's got this Hollywood pass, and he creates and he assists and he scores these wonder goals and all of this stuff. This is all we ever think about Trent. He's the world's greatest right back. He's the world's greatest defensive midfielder. He's going to be the best midfielder the world has ever seen when we play him there. He's created 3 chances, 3 big chances this season in 11 games. 3 big chances all season. I'm pretty sure Salah did that in 1 game. Like, hello, mate. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Touches. Trent touches the ball between 70 and 100 times per game. Look, if you've got a guy that has that much say in the game, holds the ball so much, gets the ball to him so much, and he loses the ball 17% of the time in a game, that is an issue. That's also something that you shouldn't be doing. And you also have to look at the fact that he's not creating anything. So you're giving him the ball. What are you giving him the ball for? Are you giving him the ball so he just passes it to the man next to him? Because all I'm seeing Trent do now is I'm seeing Trent pick the ball up, try a mad long ball, which normally goes out or normally just gets beaten off by a player, or he goes back to a defender and puts them in a more precarious position that they were in the first place. Pass completion, 73% for Trent this year. McAllister's got better pass completion. McAllister's got 87%. Curtis Jones has got 94% pass completion this year. Trent's got 73. Isn't he supposed to be the best passer in the world? This guy is out of sorts. This guy should not be in the team now. He should be on the bench. He should be fighting for a game. There should be other players in front of him. Gomez should be in that position now. I've not seen anything from Gomez to say that he shouldn't be playing as our right back for the rest of the season. I've seen nothing that proves otherwise, that Trent is a better right back than him. Like, it's just it is what it is now. And the other thing which we need to look at as well is he's had 14 shots this season, Trent. 2 on target. He's just wasteful. Look, I've had my say on Trent. I would take 150 million for him, and I would spend it wisely on a DM or on a Salah replacement in the future. But he's not earning his wages for me. He's now doing things which I can't understand. Like, I can't understand why you're moving over to the left-hand side in midfield when you're an inverted right back, when you're either a right back or you're either on the right side of midfield. Like, why are you crossing over the other midfielder to get to the left? Because you clearly know that no one's going to be there to cover for you that quickly. And if you do have to get back into position, you've got to run right across the whole of the pitch in a diagonal motion where you may interfere with play. You may get in the way of another player's path who's maybe trying to, I don't know, track back or play someone offside or whatever. But it feels like it's either a really crap tactic from Pep and Linders, or it's Trent just doing his own thing because he's just been given carte blanche. And there's 2 people we need to blame about this. We need to blame Gareth Southgate. We need to blame Jurgen Klopp. But fuck me, we need to blame Pep and Linders. Like, he is 100% the man who has given this role to Trent. And if you don't think it's real, you need to look up on Pep and Linders' comments about him having a bet of his year's wage with Klopp to play Trent as an inverted right back, because he did it, because he said it. He said it in an interview. He's come out and said it in an interview because Pep loves the sound of his own voice. And if you bought Pep's book, good on you, because you made him a millionaire. How you doing, mate?
Good, boss. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I've just got a couple more things to say about Canate, and then we can have a chat. All right.
Good, good, good. So let me log off. I'll come back in. Okay,
Okay, buddy.
when you're
All
when
right.
you're done. Okay.
All right, mate. Okay, we'll have Albert on in a sec. Okay. So another thing I wanted to talk about, and if you've got any comments, put them in the chat, please. Like I can see a few things. Like I look, we're all entitled to our own opinions, but until until we see a run, like a good run of games without trends, which we did, by the way, and we won a lot of games, by the way, and we played not too badly with Gomez when Trent was out injured. But that's just statistics. Like that's just Liverpool, and we didn't really play inverted that much, which was interesting, and we did quite well. Um, that's kind of my view on it. Like I would if I knew that we were going to go back to the way we used to play under Klopp, which we can, by the way, because we've got a better midfield. Like the reason why we drained every single drop we could out of what we had is because we had a midfield that didn't have any legs. But now we've got legs all over the midfield. But if we're now not going to play that ever again, and Trent's going to be inverted, then I want Trent sold, and I want a proper right. I want a right back that can defend, like a Gomez. Like that's kind of what I want. But if we're going to go back to the way we used to play, where we play wide players, Trent's a brilliant player. Like Trent's got every tool in the box. Like he's a great right back who plays right back, but he's a shit inverted right back. You know, or you play him in midfield, and he might be good, but we don't know because he's never done it. Well, that's kind of who I'm blaming. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Okay, so okay, so there's a couple of things we need to understand about Canate. Canate hasn't played 25 games for Liverpool yet. Okay, and we've had him for 3 years. Is that a problem? Is that a problem? So you paid 30, I think it was 36 million for a centre back who could be the best centre back in the world, like from when we signed him, because he just looked an absolute monster. But he's only played 25 games for Liverpool in 3 years. Yeah, he played 15 games last year. He played about 3 the year before, I think maybe 4, and he's played 8 this year, but he hasn't played 8. He's actually only played 5 because he came on as a sub for some of them, so that counted as the 8. But the issues with Canate this year is probably Trent are the issues with Canate, because Canate has now gone down as a guy that only wins 50% of his duels. 50% of his duels he wins. And would you like to know how many tackles Canate has won this year in 8 games? He's a centre back. How many tackles? Do you think he's won more than 10 tackles this year as a centre back? Go on, write it in the chat. How many tackles do you think Canate's won this year? Come on, there's 12 of yous. Come on, give us a number. Am I just gonna like talk all the time, like numbers? He's won 4. He's won 4 tackles this year, Canate. He's been absolutely awful. Like his numbers are dreadful. Like he's committed 9 fouls this year. He's won 50% of his duels. He's lost 14 headers in the air. Like really, like he's really, really poor. His stats aren't great this year. They're really not great. And it's because of Trent. It's because of Trent. And you have to look at the size of a pitch. You've got your goalkeeper, you've got your entire penalty area, and then you've got the flanks. Yeah. You have 4 players that normally sit in those positions. You've normally got Robbo, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, and Canate. You haven't anymore. You haven't got Trent there. And you've hardly ever got Robbo there. So you've basically got 2 centre backs, and one of them doesn't engage much. Virgil van Dijk does not engage much. He's not the guy that's going to go and take a man out on the halfway line. He's not a guy that does that. He's the guy that waits, holds, controls, pushes them in an alleyway, like pushes them down the line on their weak foot, whatever, and then engages when he gets closer. Konate's that guy who just goes flying in. Like if a house was on fire, he'd just go charging into the house. And you'd be like, whoa, there's no one in the house. Like, who are you going to save? There's no one there because he didn't ask. He just went running in. And that's what Konate does. And having that with a right back and a left back who are near him, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. If he loses that ball or he wins that ball, then he gives it to the right back. Or he gives it to the DM. Right now, Konate wins that ball, there's no one there. Because Trent's not there, so you can't give it to his right back because he's got no one on the right hand side. They're just certainly not going to be there. And then you got your DM. Like the DM ain't winning shit right now. It's a real problem. It's a real problem for Konate. And Konate is now looking like a liability in the back line because he's having to cover right back position and centre back. And he's the guy that also puts out the fires. So does he stick? Does he twist? The guy's all over the place. He's all over the place. He's like Bambi. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Like he knows he's confident enough to go, that's mine. I'm going to go and get it. But now he's like, whoa, if I don't get that, they're in because there's no right back. So he's hesitant all the time. You can see it. You can see it in his game. He's hesitant in his game. He's unsure of himself. He's unsure whether he can do what he can do. Like he did an interview where he said he needs to supersize. He needs to go up levels. That's what he said. He needs to go up levels because he's got to do 2 fucking jobs. Like who on earth buys a player, has really good stats out of him, has a really good performance out of him, yeah, and then goes, you know what? Next year you're going to do 2 jobs. You're going to do 2 jobs because that guy, we're going to give him an easy life. Because guess what? Trent gets an easy life now because he does what he wants. He roams about the pitch. Like, I watched him against Luton and he was on the edge of their penalty area. It's like, all they've got to do is ping a ball on the right-hand side. Literally win a ball and chuck it down the right-hand side. And guess what? You're not there, mate. Konate's on his own. Konate's on his own. Konate doesn't win that ball, we're done. We're toast. We're toast. And guess what? We were. Because Ali dug us out of 2 big holes. 2 massive saves from Ali in that game. Massive saves. Like that save from their forward when they were 1-0 up was unbelievable. The XG on that was like 2.4. Ali, like, I mean, we really do. I do need to do probably a show just about Ali because just the incredible amount of saves that have got us out of games is just, it's mind blowing from Ali. Anyway, okay, so that was what I had. It's been an hour. I was gonna do an hour anyway, but that was what I had, and I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Trent. I wanted to talk about McAllister, and I wanted to talk about Canate. We've now got the hardest amount of games, and I know we're sat there looking at the easier teams, but these are the hardest teams because these are the teams that beat Klopp last year. These are the teams that beat Klopp the year before. These are the teams that we're playing next are the reason why we didn't win the title twice. Like, make no bones about it. We beat your Arsenals, we beat your Man Cities, we beat all them. We didn't beat your Brentfords, didn't beat your Palace. Nope, didn't beat those teams. We got beat by those teams, or we dropped points against those teams. These are the teams that lose us titles because we haven't got a manager that has worked out how to score goals against a low block. We just haven't got a manager that does it. Just haven't. Still hasn't worked out how to play low block. Like, Jose Mourinho started low block against us when they beat us at Anfield and we lost the title under Rodgers. We should know how to play against low block now. We should have worked it out. It's not rocket science. It's probably going to be direct football. It's probably going to be throwing a few blokes up in their box. Like, why didn't we put Virgil van Dijk in their box for the last 10 minutes against Luton? You don't think Virgil can win a header? You don't think Canate could win a header? Because we needed a goal. We needed a goal, and we were still doing tiki-taka, Pep and Linda's shit in the middle of the park, passing it left and right, not actually going anywhere, not having any width. Everyone just with a blanket over them in the middle of the park. Absolute crap. Absolute crap. And if you think you've been watching amazing football this season, you really haven't. We have been absolute dog shite all season. The only reason why we probably got as many points as we've got is because we have Mo Salah, who just pulls a fucking rabbit out the hat, pulls an amazing assist. You know, Dominic Szoboszlai bangs a goal in, you know, pulls off a worldie of a run. You know, this is the reason why we're anywhere in the league right now, is because we have these incredible players like Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Mo Salah, and the odd Nunes, and your Diaz as well, because Diaz has scored a few goals that have won us games. But look, I'm not going to say much more on it. But we have to be honest with ourselves now. Klopp has gone. We're now being managed by Pep Linders. And if you can't see that, then you need to open your eyes. Because everything about this team is not what Klopp did with us. That ended the middle of last season. That finished. And Linders took over. Because I don't see Klopp's tactics. I don't see Klopp's subs. I don't see Klopp's players anymore. Hello, mate.
Hey, what's up, bro? What's up? How you doing?
All right, man. All right. I just wanted to I just wanted to do a little show because I still don't see anyone. I still don't see anyone criticising Trent. I just don't. I don't see
Well,
anyone criticising our tactics.
well, the Trent issue is a very interesting one. I've watched football like many others for a while now. I've never actually seen a team being built around the prowess of a fullback. It's it's interesting. Notice that since we brought in Zoboslai, as we speak now, Zoboslai has become a foil for Trent. Zoboslai has become simply a direct replacement of Hendo,
It's
a
shocking.
younger replacement of Hendo. So it's now Zoboslai who has to cut to the byline instead of the fullback. What most fullbacks do, he cutting to the byline and sending a cross into a Zoboslai or a Salah who will wait somewhere inside the box or the edge of the box or whatever to fire in a direct shot. That's that's very interesting. The other thing that um, some of us are seeing is that you put out some stats about Trent. I think that there is an overemphasis on his creative ability that has stopped us from getting a DM. It has stopped the other uh, um, midfielders from being their creative midfield self, like Alexis, because of Trent's apparent ability to create. We've just bought Alexis, given him a 10 jersey, and just told him, plug yourself into this hole and shut up and just play. Clearly, the guy is ill equipped to consistently be a DM. He doesn't like being a DM. You can tell on his face, you can tell in his demeanor, but Klopp is and his team are not able to tell what is going on. Zoboslai was made to turn out as a left sided forward, as a left-sided midfield, and a right-sided midfielder all in one match. He played 92, 93 odd minutes against Bournemouth, and then we expected him to turn out and shine in 3 days against the team that we really needed to beat. I don't get that.
I don't understand it.
Um, yeah, so that is where we are. Even Gravenberch, who is fleet of foot, is good with both feet, is brought in to come and cover Trent. I don't get it. And Trent is not even covering himself.
He's not.
Having said all that, I just want to make a quick reference to yesterday's match. I think yesterday's match was on Darwin's foot. Because no matter what you say about Trent, he put in two pinpoint passes that should have resulted, at least one of them should have resulted in a goal. If one of those go in, it's a different match. So Trent is not entirely the problem in terms of our creative ability, but yes, you do have a point. I have never seen a team being made to fit the supposed prowess of just one fullback, because even Chelsea, who in my opinion have a better fullback in Reece James, they don't fit their team around him, because in terms of creative ability, I honestly think Reece James has more potential and he's better defensively, but they don't do that. But we have sold a narrative, this Trent is the best fullback in the world narrative, which I honestly cannot buy, because I haven't been raised to be a sycophant. Nobody can tell me that Trent is a better fullback than Carvajal. Nobody can tell me Trent is a better fullback than Kyle Walker. Nobody can tell me
Well,
Trent is a better fullback than Reece James. I'll stop there. Trent is Trent. He's our Trent. But I think that the team should keep him as a fullback, because whenever they have done that, for example, against Brighton, where he was ordered not to do that invert thing and stick to Mitoma like a leech, he played it perfectly. And indeed, he was able to get behind Mitoma at times and come forward, which is what we want our fullback to do. I mean, in terms of what Pep Linders is doing, I tweeted a few days ago, I don't know whether you saw it, that we should get it straight that Pep Linders will be the next Liverpool manager, because the signs are all there for
Yeah.
everybody to see. I can see a scenario where Klopp assumes an upstairs
Yeah, that's what I was
appointment
saying at the
after,
start of the show.
and Trent
Yeah.
becomes the substantive coach. I see it. Sorry, I said Trent. Linders becomes the substantive, because he has the effrontery to say, well, the team is getting more orange, and he likes that. Is Liverpool a Dutch team?
I know,
I
mate.
mean, are you serious? Is Liverpool,
Blows my
and
mind.
yes, and everybody kept quiet and watched him say
How
those kinds of stupid things. Can't fucking keep his
how
mouth shut.
how can you let your assistant manager talk like that? Like
Exactly.
he literally comes out with some absolute clangers, and I'm like, he's
But
gonna get he's gonna get reprimanded for talking like that, ain't he, by
why
the
isn't
boss?
our team a German team? I mean, I'll take our team being more German than being more Dutch.
Any day of the week.
I'll take yeah, I'll take the German influence any fucking day.
Yeah.
But it appears that Klopp has promised him that, hey, when I leave, you're going to be the. And you see, Liverpool have
Tell
done
me
it
what Holland
before,
have done. Tell me what Holland have done that's good. Seriously.
right? But what we should be worried about, and a lot of people don't know Liverpool's
Play
history.
terrible football, Holland,
Liverpool
as
have in
well.
the past, Bill Shankly was an assistant.
Yeah, I know.
Um, Bob Paisley was an assistant. Roy Evans was an assistant, right?
Yeah.
And they all ended up acceding to become Liverpool coaches. There's one other person, the guy who succeeded Bob
Phil
Paisley. What's
Thompson.
his name?
Phil
No.
Thompson was
The
an
guy
assistant as
succeeded
well.
Bob Paisley. If you tell me, I'll remember. He was also basically, so Liverpool have that DNA of going to appoint assistant managers as a substantive manager when a long serving manager leaves. Let's be careful of that, because Pep Linders should not be the Liverpool manager. He shouldn't be. He's basically grandfathering himself to that position, and it will be a disaster. I mean, he talks too much. He has absolutely no coaching aptitude. He's a good assistant because he's a fucking sycophant, and that's it.
Joe Fagan.
I think that we should relook at the role that Trent plays in the team. He's a fullback. He should be a fullback, because there are other players in the midfield who have better creative ability, right? Joe Fagan, thank you. Thank you, is Joe Fagan, right? They were all assistants. So let's be careful, because they are play they are managers like Xavi Alonso and Ruben Amorim,
Yeah.
De Zerbi, if he's still around, who, even Scaloni, the Argentinian manager, who will be better managers for Liverpool, because they've been successful players and players respect that. Klopp himself was a player and a successful one, relatively.
I think Marco
So
Rose would be a
let
good one as well.
exactly. So let's
Leipzig
be
manager.
very careful, because it would appear that that's the direction we are heading. That being said, look, we cannot have, at the end of the season, the arithmetic adds up coldly. You cannot you cannot draw to a team like Luton and then think that you should be challenging for the title. And we are good enough to challenge for the title. So I don't understand why we should even be having this discussion about having drawn against Luton. I mean, look at the way we played. No urgency. We were playing all these square passes, all these lateral passes. Trent was being given the ball, and Darwin was useless. Salah was equally useless. Trent himself was useless. They brought in uh, um, um, uh, Elliot, who ended up helping us concede a goal, and then he made the equalizer, so he was a wash. I mean, what we doing? What we doing? Zoboslai was absolutely ass because he was dead tired.
He was knackered.
Every time,
Salah was knackered as well, by the way. Salah was tired.
he was knackered too.
Played
Every time
Salah the whole
Trent
game,
was
by the way.
right. Every time Trent was calling for the ball,
He could have played Salah into an injury in that game.
and he could have brought in Doak, because that was a kind of match that Doak could have thrived in.
Yeah.
Because
Wide
Doak likes
players.
to take on people and get to the byline.
Wide players.
Okay.
We needed wide
Trent
players.
wants the ball all the time. Trent wanted the ball
time.
all the time. Trent wanted the ball all the time. What was he doing with it? He was mostly losing it.
What was he doing
We
on the
have to have a
left-hand
discussion.
side? What was he
Yeah,
doing on the
yeah,
left-hand
he's been
side
scooting
with
to
the
the left
ball?
hand side. I mean, there's
Like,
this thing, and you see, one of the things that Klopp has done also that is causing problems is that he has taken a political decision to make Trent the assistant skipper of the team. That
yeah,
in and of
bad
itself
decision.
brings a burden for you to play him.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something wrong, man. There's something wrong.
it's a bad decision.
Something wrong. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Having said all that, we thank God that Spurs have lost, and they've lost in the abject
I
manner in
know.
which they lost. I am excited. Madison, I don't want to celebrate the player's injury, but once they are injured,
Neither do
I
I.
hope he spends a few months on the sideline. Madison should spend time on the sideline. Van der Ven should spend a very long time on the sideline. Romero, that
You're
idiot, is out
evil.
for 3. Yeah, Udogi spends a match out. That moron Romero spends 3 matches out. By the time they come back, Spurs would have returned back to fucking Spurs. They were getting too fucking big for their shoes with all these Postacoglu this,
I'll tell you,
Koglu fucking
Albert,
nonsense. How can you be 9 men
Albert,
and play a high line? Are you fucking nuts?
Albert, they nearly equalised, mate. They were really good.
Yeah, well, but
Like,
they
they
didn't.
were really good, Albert. Like,
It
look,
ended up
I'm
it
not
ended
I'm
up
not a
4-1.
Spurs fan. I'm not a Spurs fan, but fuck me, you have to give them some credit. Like, they could have got back into that game.
You know who I
Chelsea
give credit?
were
You know who
absolute
I give credit? I
shite.
give Klopp credit for nearly till the last second of the game getting away with playing with 9 men. Now Spurs will respect us because we would have beaten them with 10 men. We would have smashed them with 10 men if those fuckers had given us our goal. And you know,
I know.
this week we've gotten even with all the fucking talkers. Look at Arsenal, fucking complaining that they've been robbed a goal. Same fucking idiot Ateta, who said we should accept referees' decisions. Now comes in there, it's an absolute fucking disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Well, what the fuck? Where were you when we were talking about a disgrace? Now you want
should have
people
had
who
it.
you want, we should sit down and talk about referee decisions. Where the fuck were you when we were suffering? Oh, fuck
I'll tell you,
yourself. Let's keep the referees as they are.
I'll tell you
Idiot.
what though. I'll tell you what though. We probably should have had a penalty against Verge. I find that
Well,
quite hard to not get a penalty. He was literally dragged to the floor by his shoulders.
given the same set of
I know.
circumstances we are living in now, that was a stonewall penalty.
I
See,
thought so.
the refereeing in the PGMOL, I've told you guys, is like fucking TP Mazembe, Congo DR referee going to play a match in
So
Katanga
bad.
province. That's what the refereeing is like. Nobody's
So
talking
bad.
about it. And every now and then they demote the referees to go and referee championship matches. And that's supposed to be a what exactly?
They still get
That's
paid.
supposed to be what?
They still
Yeah,
get a wage.
the
Still doing a
referees,
job.
the referees have a Freemasonry called Lodge PGMOL, and they
Yeah.
keep recycling them like fucking dirty laundry. Right? That's
Yeah.
what, like dirty laundry, dirty underwear. They keep fucking washing them. Rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, dry, repeat. That's what it is. And we are not supposed to be able to talk about it. They should go fuck them. Everybody should live in it. Some teams will do better than others. Everybody should go fuck themselves. Let's keep our referees.
Is Arteta going to get a ban then? Because Klopp got a ban for talking about the referees.
We are watching. Whether they give them a ban or not, the deed has been done. They've lost. Everybody has lost. Now nobody has a zero loss record. Everybody fucking lost. And now people will respect Liverpool for nearly surviving with 9 men. Look at them. Look at Spurs. You went 9 men. You went 10 men down. You were fucking panting like Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. You went a 9 men down. You couldn't handle it. You got nailed 4-1 in your own stadium. Disgraceful lot. Fucking Postacoglu this,
Big up, Gags.
Postacoglu that,
How you doing, man? You're right.
whatever.
Albert off on.
That's
Yes,
no,
Nah,
that's
I'm just
no
letting
shit.
Albert rant, man. It's actually
Yeah,
this
I'm
is one of the
I'm
joys to
terribly
watch.
excited. Kama is a fucking bitch. And I wish Madison a long time on the sidelines because of the shit he said about us having to tolerate 9 red cards. I wish Van der Ven a long fucking time on the sidelines. He should have been a Liverpool player. Everybody should go fuck themselves. Dax, you can go, man.
Take care. Gags, what do you want to talk
Yeah.
about, buddy? Because I was talking about Klopp. Is it Klopp 2.0 or is it Linda's 1.0?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure because Klopp, there's certain traits of Klopp's that that just makes Klopp, and it just won't go away.
You think that's
I
just a
think I spoke
remnants, though?
about it.
You think
It's
that's just
stuff
the leftover? Like, there's still a few players that are Klopp players, but
it's not even that. It's just certain habits and certain stubbornness, like of just
go on, yeah. Tell us, mate.
shoehorning
Tell us. I'm all ears, mate.
shoehorning players into
Oh God, yeah.
positions, just to shoehorning players, s- playing players through horrible form, and changing things or making adjustments when shit hits the fan, as opposed to doing it in a proactive way when cracks start to appear. That
Oh,
that
he
is
really kicked off. He left.
yeah.
So the rant and left. Okay, mate. Yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, stuff like that makes me think, yeah, same old Klopp with a revamped squad. I mean, there isn't really much difference in tactics between this year and last year. I think we've just got better personnel, so we're not looking as bad. But but the thing is
You still think it's as bad though?
it's bad, like, because there's still sort of chinks in our armor tactically. And I'll be honest, this title talk has to stop, in my opinion, because there's certain things that I see in games like McAllister in the lone six. It's not sustainable long term. And the fact and Trent doing the inverted thing, leaving gaps leaving gaps in our width, where pacey wingers who are direct, with teams that have the game plan to counter attack us and actually have a go, will exploit them spaces. And that's exactly what teams like what Newcastle, Chelsea earlier in the season, and more recently Luton did on Sunday.
Wolves
People
did it as well. That's how they scored.
Wolves did it, yeah, exactly. Wolves did it. People talk about, oh, the Everton game, oh, the Aston Villa game. They
Wolves
didn't
did it as
try.
well to a certain extent.
They didn't try.
No, they didn't.
They were horrible against us.
Yeah.
They played not to, well, Everton especially played not to lose,
That was an interesting one because
as opposed to just
they
go
had Dwight
nick it.
McNeil, who could have really got at us, but
But he
they didn't
didn't.
use him to a certain extent.
He
Interesting.
didn't, not at all. But that's
So
what I mean.
do you
Like,
think? So do you think we are going to go from Klopp to Linders? I'm convinced now.
well,
I'm convinced.
it looks like it, but the problem is, people are going to go back to the transition between Shankly to Paisley and be like, well, that happened, so surely this can happen. But we're living in a very different time. Firstly, and secondly, firstly and secondly, managers now kind of have to have some sort of credentials in their back, like behind them, in order for it to be a near enough to immediate success, unless we're going to go down the Arsenal route and ha- with Arteta and have an absolute novice, and accept that we're just going to go through a dire couple of years before things start looking on the up, which it has been for Arsenal for the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this transition from Klopp to Linders. I'll be honest.
So
I'd rather
do you
have.
think Klopp will sign a new contract, or do you think maybe he'll go up into the back room? Because I think there's a good chance of him becoming
He may.
becoming the maybe even the director of football. Like, we haven't got one lined up. Like, we just haven't. Like,
No, we
Max
don't.
Eberl's been talked about, but he wants to go to Bayern Munich.
What, Klopp wants to go to Bayern Munich?
No, Max Eberl is being
Max
talked about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's Leipzig's. Was it
Oh,
Leipzig?
okay. Yeah. I think somebody mentioned it on one of someone else's
But he
stream.
wants to go. He wants to go to Munich. Like, he wants to go to Bayern.
Yeah. With that, I think it all depends on how much he trusts Linders to take over,
I think he trusts Linders, mate. Like,
to be number one.
He's letting the guy do press conferences and manage matches. Like, he's managed a couple of games now, and he managed the Premier League game. And,
I think Klopp's going to be a bit of an opportunity. Yeah. Sorry, no, go and carry on.
No, I'm just saying, like, I genuinely think he really does trust him. I don't know why.
I mean, do you know what? I think I just had a thought. I just had an idea, actually, to your question. Yeah. Just had a bit of a thought. I think in 2 years' time, it will really depend on what the situation is with the German national team job. Because currently Nagelsmann's their manager. I think they've just appointed him, haven't they? Julian Nagelsmann.
Love Nagelsmann.
Gags.
Yeah.
Listen, Klopp earns £15 million a year at Liverpool. Let's not be lost on that. Okay. Next 2 years time, you'll be 58 years old. Is it 57, 58? Why would he want to? Why would he want to go away if he can continue in one capacity or the other? Let's not forget that Klopp is a very leftist-leaning human being. He absolutely loves the adulation he gets in Liverpool. Look,
I never thought Klopp was ego-driven. I didn't think he was an ego manager when we got him.
Well,
but
you're
he is
wrong.
now.
You are absolutely wrong. Look, you guys live in the UK. I come to the UK to watch matches. Can you say a bad word about Klopp in Liverpool?
No.
Liverpool,
you get lynched.
You'll be lynched. Absolutely lynched. Even on Twitter.
I get lynched on every channel I go on.
Even on Twitter. What happens to those of us who have the temerity to criticize Klopp? Even when Klopp says that he is responsible for something, if you repeat exactly what Klopp said, you'll be insulted.
Every person that and this is hilarious, by the way, and you'll probably laugh at this. Every time I've said, like, Klopp out or look, you know, he should have been sacked, all I ever get as a response is, "You're not a real Liverpool fan." Maybe I fucking am.
Well, you will be asked, first of all, you will be asked, when was the last time? Have you ever been to Anfield? That will be the first thing, and then you'll be told that you are not go and support
Every year
Man
I go
City.
to Anfield.
Right, go and support Man City if you like, and that's the second one. And then you hear
you're a glory hunter. That's the other one.
And then you will be told, why are you criticizing my manager, as if we are not Liverpool supporters. So they said, I don't give a crap. Nobody can tell me what to say or what to do. I've seen enough. You can't tell me shit. I'll blow you shit right back. But the thing is this, the thing is this. There are things going on that may prevent us from being title challengers. Those things are obvious. If you've been around for a long time, you can see. You don't have to have to be a hero worshipper to see that there are obvious problems.
Of course, though, and I'll be honest, I'm going to rip the bandit off of Jurgen Klopp. I was actually I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this quite a bit, actually, and I want to get your guys' take on it. If Klopp, from now until his contract ends in 2026, on the conditions that he doesn't renew and he does leave, where would you rank him in all-time Premier League managers? Because for me, he's battling with Arsene Wenger for that 4th and 5th spot.
I think they're definitely 2 ahead of him, right?
Yeah,
I think there's 3 ahead of him.
Who's the
I
third
think
one?
Mourinho,
Yeah, you can say that.
Mourinho, Pep,
Based on results.
and Fergie.
well, best Premier
100%
League
are ahead of
managers.
him.
No, Fergie's the best. I'm sorry, like
Yeah, of course, he's clear.
Arsene Wenger.
And I would say Mourinho too is ahead of him. Simply
No,
based on results.
Fergie, Pep. It's got to be Pep. Sorry, we're forgetting about this guy. He's
Yeah.
won like I think he's won like 6 in 8 or something like that.
Yeah,
6 in 9. So it's Fergie, Pep,
How many
Mourinho,
Champions Leagues did
Wenger.
Mourinho win?
Wenger only won two
3,
Premier
right?
Leagues, by the way.
Mourinho's won 2
3
Champions Leagues
and 3 Premier Leagues.
and 3
Well,
Premier Leagues. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he went back to back.
He went back to back as well. That's really, really hard. Like really, really hard. No one's ever done 3 in a row. Like Pep's will be 3 in a row only if he can do this one.
If he does 4 in a row, he's got a good argument to be number 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So yeah,
If Pep wins, if Pep does the Champions League again, and another Premier League title, I think he's the best ever. Like it's hard not to argue. It really is hard not to argue because he did so much at all his other clubs as well. And you can talk about money and all that stuff. Like, of course you can, and the fact that he had amazing players and all that stuff. But there's so many managers that have had amazing players and loads of money, and couldn't get it to work. But he just continuously gets it to work. Like, and goes up against Klopp twice. By the way.
And the thing is, with Fergie, I know Fergie didn't have the spending power that Pep's had, but you have to look at it relative to the time back then as well. I mean, United
Fergie did have spending power.
No, he did. No, but
he had like 3. He always got 3 brilliant players every year, didn't he?
Yeah, as in he was the equivalent. He was the Manchester City equivalent of back then because they like United. Yeah, as in terms of he would he would buy the best players from every other club or from the smaller clubs every year to replenish his squad. That's why he created a dynasty and like players like managers like Wenger with Arsenal obviously did trump him a few times but couldn't sustain it.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
look. I mean, I said this earlier on in the show. I know Klopp's won everything with us.
Yeah.
But he's only won 1 of each in 8 years. Like when he goes, if he doesn't win another Premier League, he's won 1 Premier League in 10 years. Like, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like he would have by then he would have spent about 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Like he's on 983 million spend. Like, and I don't care about the net spend crap. He spent 983 million on players, and he's won us 1 trophy of each. Like, okay, I don't care about the Super Cup and the World Cup because you're playing some Mexican team and you're playing some.
Well, basically,
I don't care about those cups. I care about FA Cups, League Cups, and Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues.
Basically, he's been in 5 European finals. Is it 5 or 6? 5 European finals. He's won 1.
Yeah.
Hopefully he adds another one. But given the way we are operating, we may just end up losing to an unfancy team in the Europa Cup. I'm worried about that because we should win the Europa Cup. As secondary as it is, we should win it. But when the teams drop down from the Champions League, I'm worried that a team might be able to beat us. For now, we'll take what.
I'm worried it could be like a PSG or a Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we'll beat Borussia Dortmund.
No, but I'm just worried it could be one of those teams that drop down, and then it could be a real challenge.
For me, the elements of us even being title challengers this year are sitting there. unfortunately we are not utilizing it. I don't get it. Even this business of not getting a DM, stubbornly not getting a DM and getting a makeshift endo until, like he himself say, until the right player comes along. Why would you want the right player come along in the second half of the season when the season may have been lost? Rodri was
Exactly.
signed.
But what I
At,
also don't understand is why don't you play your DM? Like
yeah,
McAllister's
if
having a shocker this season. Like he's 50-50. Like honestly, like he wins 50% of his duels. Like you can't have a defensive midfielder that only wins 50% of his tackles. You just can't.
look
And the
at
guy's
look
on
at
5 yellow cards now.
look at
He's on
the
5 yellow cards.
scenario. Look at the scenario with what happened. The goal we conceded against um, um,
Luton.
Luton. A competent DM doesn't allow that washed up Chelsea relic, who looks like his father
But
is his
you
father
couldn't
is
foul him
Iran.
because he would have got sent off.
Yeah, but if he got sent off, he still misses only one game, so he should have
That's what I
fouled him.
don't understand, Albert. I don't understand why he didn't just take another yellow. Like,
But
just do it.
but he got done for pace, bro. So whether he
You pulled
wanted
him
to take
down.
another yellow or not, we wouldn't have known because he got done for pace. He got down for pace by a washed up Chelsea reject who looks like a reincarnation of Aaron Barkley. Remember Aaron Barkley? Like
Yeah.
you know,
He looks like an Egyptian an Egyptian mummy.
yeah. I mean, how if that
Chong,
guy, if
Chong.
Ross Barkley does you for speed,
Tell
you
you what,
must be
man.
a special kind of useless DM, right?
I'll tell you what was more concerning: the fact that a manager who looks like he's just come out of New Look, like like literally just bought a tracksuit and has never done any management before, literally out tacticked
Yeah,
Klopp.
Ross Barkley is on a 3 month contract.
Like like
Both he and Andros
Aubergine or
Townsend
whatever
are
his
on a
name
three
was
month
on the
contract.
left, on the right, literally had Trent in his back pocket all game.
Yeah, running him ragged all day.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair to Trent, he was even hardly there. He was unavailable like Davido, right? He was
Well, yeah.
hardly there. So yeah. Thing is, we need to look
Sorry,
at
Gags, this is how we go.
look.
No. It's
I
funny. There's the Davido reference made me
Yeah,
laugh.
he's unavailable like Davido. Look, let's condition our mind that our season really
Benny, not aubergine. Sorry. I called him aubergine.
Ogbeni. That's how to pronounce it. Ogbeni is an Igbo name. Listen,
I called him aubergine. Sorry.
yeah, aubergine. That's good too. One of the things we have to realize is that our season really begins after we play Man City. Our season really begins after we play Man City.
Hell yeah.
If we get a result, I'm not even going to talk about a win because it's highly unlikely. But if we get a result against Man City, then maybe all is good. But I tell you what, Jeremy Doku and Trent will not be a pretty sight.
Nah.
Inverted has
Trent's
to be
got to
fit
play
for
as
that
a
game.
Trent's got to play as a traditional right back for
I,
that,
I, I don't even I don't even think we play Trent, mate. I think we play Gomez.
or you play Gomez and play
He
Simicast
he
left back.
he shouldn't move an inch because if
Tell
he
you what, man,
moves,
Simicast. That is a
he's
nightmare.
another kind of useless, isn't he?
Like, why the hell is he even in the team? He's
He's
awful.
another kind of useless. See, these
He's
are
just,
all the things.
you know, who he reminds me of. Do you remember Moreno used to just do moronic things, just dumb things. Like he just didn't have a brain.
But
Like,
at least
literally.
Moreno was a left back in every
Yeah.
sense of the word.
Yeah, he
This
was.
guy, no. You know,
This
no.
guy's
And
thick as
and for
nicks.
those of us who were talking about selling Robo, do we really see how much we're missing him? Like seriously, sell Robo, like really seriously.
Trailer to a dog.
The thing with Simicast, right, for me, yeah, I mean, this season his performances haven't been anything spectacular. I do get that, However, I do sympathise with Tsimikas in the sense that I think he's a victim of not having sufficient amount of game time to improve his game. Uh, Especially when, like, it's everyone knows this, but when Robbo was injured at the beginning of the 21-22 season, the quad chasing season, and Tsimikas played the first 3 games, he's actually excellent. He's very good. We never missed him. We never missed Robbo. But as soon as Robbo was fit and back, Tsimikas was straight on the bench, and he didn't even get a chance. He didn't even get a chance to sort of, you know, like keep his spot until he lost form. It's just as soon as Robbo comes in,
imagine how
he's
much
back in.
confidence he's lost now. Like,
But
Oh,
Gags,
his
you're
confidence
not,
is
you're
on
not
the
even getting a game against
floor.
Luton, mate.
Gags,
It's on the floor.
Gags, listen. This game doesn't wait for nobody. Okay?
No, I know it
As,
doesn't.
as supporters, as fans, we can't wait for players who have lost confidence to pick up the confidence. You know, most of us these days, we are doing a lot of things with stats, and we are doing a lot of things with all these useless fishnets that tell us nothing. Somebody actually created one that said Alexis was a better DM than Rodri. I pushed back on it. I was like, are you nuts? What's wrong with you? You know, um,
Crazy.
these days that we have all these things, all these mnemonics, big
Couldn't tie his
chances
boots.
created. I mean, what's a big chance created? What's that? What's a big chance created? I've done statistics my whole life. What's a big chance created? You know, and all those things. One of the things it doesn't tell us. One of the things it doesn't tell us is what the eye sees and what you have seen over time. How long did it take us to see Kwanzaa to know that he was a good player? How long did it take us? How long did it
Probably
take us
half a
to?
game.
Yeah, how
Probably
long
half
did
a
it
game.
take us to see Gravenberch? Even those of us who pushed back on Gravenberch, how long did it take us to know that he was a good player?
Probably about
So,
20
so,
minutes.
so, yeah. So Tsimikas must fight his corner. He should stop claiming like, oh, I don't get time, and he doesn't get time. Now he has an opportunity. The guy you are deputizing for is injured. He's going to be injured for 3 months plus. So make it happen, right? Make it happen.
The first game he came in, he didn't play well.
He didn't play well. Even
That's
this
just
one,
like
you were brought in for a few minutes to come and provide crosses. How many crosses did he provide? None. Zilch. So at that
he did one
point,
and then got a big bollocking off Klopp and then didn't cross again.
right? At that point, Klopp has the right to get you off and put somebody else there. And I agree with the manager for doing that. One of the things that we didn't do that we should have done, that is now biting us in the ass, was getting a left-sided centre back who could play as a fullback. We came to the conclusion that Van der Ven wasn't good enough. How dumb was that? Is somebody really
I
saying Van der Ven is not good enough?
I know
personally,
hindsight is a wonderful thing, but
I think we can play Kwanzaa there.
jury and
But
timber.
but but Gags, tell me in a team like Liverpool that has Barry Hunter, others who are supposed to have an eye for sporting talent, how the fuck do you come back and say Van der Ven is not good enough?
I
After
know.
doing all the work we did, Spurs buy him, and this is Van der Ven.
And that, I'm sure that was an easy snip
Well, he's
due to
injured now,
George
like Timber.
Smacker's connection.
Exactly. And all we said, all that people said was, I have a strong suspicion. One day I may be proven right. One fine day I may be proven right that our scouts and our managers are in our Twitter feeds, reading everything that is said. And because there was this hula baloo, all he does is run. All he does is run. Before we realized there was a statement from Liverpool saying they didn't consider Van der Ven good enough. How dumb was that? We
But
needed.
I
Albert,
think we're looking at
your
Frimpong.
wish is wishful thinking, because do you remember what Klopp said in his press conferences about fans, about social media fans? Enough said.
Guys, this has
I
been
push back.
great.
I push back on that and ask you, how did he know that?
He was looking at social media.
How did he know that, Gags? If I say to you, you have a big head, how did I know you have a big head?
You've seen my picture.
Yes. Or if I ask you, why are you looking at me? How did I know you were looking at me?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I
Yeah,
get the deal.
so because he's always in there. Notice, listen, you guys notice all the subtleties. Whenever we start bitching about a tactic and it's an overwhelming bitch, it's implemented. Just watch. If you haven't noticed, notice it. Whenever we, the fans in the
Well,
Twitter space,
hopefully he's watching this show.
we start bitching, you never know.
But Albert, you say that, but what I would come back to that and say, Klopp is only really changes things when there's an injury crisis, so he can't play the player that he wants to play for that specific position, so he has to tactically change. Or if shit really hits the fan and it's dire straits, like it was last season where he had to, where he introduced the inverted thing to kind of have so that we kind of had a positive end to the season, or in 2020-2021 season after the 6 home game loss where I think who was it, Henderson got injured, and he was out for the rest of the season, and then Fabinho and Thiago were back and they ended up coming back into midfield, and we actually played centre backs at centre back, and we went on a 10-game unbeaten run to finish third. Whenever there's a
Was that Matt Phillips and
shit really hits the fan,
Williams?
or when there's an injury crisis, that's when Klopp changes it. Otherwise, he's stubborn as anything.
So he's not gonna play Endo then, is he?
Nope, he won't,
He won't play Endo.
unless it's a Europa League game that's of no significance.
I've got to go, guys. All right, I was only going to do an hour. All right.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
But
Okay, bro.
yeah, do you want to say something before we go? Though,
Yeah, I was going to say that in all the years that I've watched Klopp has never vouched for a player that he has bought apart from Endo. He's never done that.
It's weird.
So once you have done that, you should be confident enough to play him. What's the problem? I honestly think that Endo is being hard done by. He should play him.
I think he's being hard done by.
I think so.
Because he's better than we give him credit for. This is what I talk about when I talk about the social media influence. Because we've bashed the guy, he doesn't want to play him.
I think it's more to do with he's trying to ease him in like he did with Fabinho, which makes no sense.
By the time he finishes easing him in, we'll be 7th, right?
Sorry?
By the time he finishes easing him in, we'll be 7th.
What games has Endo played?
Look at the league table. Look at the league table. The teams are hot on our heels, man.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
Did Endo play against Everton? Can I just ask you a couple of questions? Did Endo play against Everton?
Yeah, he did.
Did he play against Forest?
Do I remember?
At home.
Did he? I don't remember.
I can't remember the Forest game.
He hasn't played many games, so he played against Everton. He didn't play against Chelsea. He didn't play against Bournemouth. He came on at Newcastle. Oh, actually.
And did an excellent job, if I might add.
He came on at Bournemouth and he came on at Newcastle. And he hasn't played against Villa, Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham, or Brighton.
No.
Okay, every game, listen to this, every game Endo's played, we've won and we haven't conceded first. Well, we have, but he wasn't on the pitch. So we went a goal down, then had a man sent off and then brought Endo on and then won.
You know what?
They're not bad stats.
He's a pretty decent player. If you actually take the time to watch him.
He's the only natural lone six we have.
Endo's not done too bad.
He doesn't do any fancy stuff. He just gets in, gets out,
exactly
gets the job done.
DM to be.
Yeah.
And I think he should be given a chance. Klopp himself was right about Endo, but because of the bashing that Endo has gotten from the fan base, he himself has gone tentative about fielding him. That's what's going on.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
And he should play him. Trust your instincts. If you are a manager worth your salt, trust your instincts. Your first instincts are almost always right. Trust your instincts. He should play
Every
him.
other
He's better
profile,
than he thinks he is.
every other profiler player we have in midfield besides Endo is suited to a double pivot. Endo's the only one that's suited to a lone six because he's a
Lone
natural
6.
DM.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's natural.
Exactly. So he should play him.
He's the only
Yeah.
natural DM.
Or play a double pivot if you're not going to play Endo.
I haven't even looked at his stats, you know, but I genuinely think his stats are going to be really, really good. Like, I think he's going to be really good at winning duels. Like, I mean, we know he can win headers. Bloody hell, did you see the headed goal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's also added another dimension to his game that we didn't know existed. That is, he can actually take his chances. So he should field him. Just fucking field him and stop
And I think he
fucking
can fill in at I think he can fill in
dicking
at right
around.
back as well, if I'm not
I mean,
mistaken.
he really has to play against Brentford. That's a game that he needs to play.
Well, there's no choice, is there? Alexis is
Well,
not going to play.
You don't
So what
know.
are we
You
going to
don't know
do?
what he's going to do, do you? He might play bloody Curtis Jones or
Well, you
Trent.
probably.
Play Trent as a DM. See how well he goes.
But you see, the actual only player in our team who can play when Trent goes walkabout is Endo.
I know. He's the only player. I know.
He's the only player.
He's the only guy. He's the only guy
Trust your
that
instincts.
suits
If you're a
the
manager
inverted
worth your
role.
salt, trust your fucking instincts. The same instinct with which you went to bring him from Stuttgart, trust him, let him play.
And the thing about it, if you're playing Endo, then you're playing McAllister on the left-hand side, where he's absolutely sensational.
Exactly.
He's absolutely
And you are playing
sensational.
Zobo on the right side.
Can you
and
imagine how many assists he'd have already, and how many good chances Nunes might be able to score?
Prince Trent can go walk about, including going to have a snack in the middle of the game and come back.
Exactly.
And that's all good.
It just makes sense. But you know, we're not
But,
managers,
but
are we?
you but we but you
What do
know
we know?
Klopp ain't gonna drop you know Klopp isn't gonna drop Gravenberch now. So
Gravenberch and McAllister, Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai don't work together. They don't work together. You can't play them together.
But Gags, are you saying that he's going to play Gravenberch, Jones, and Zoboslai against that Brentford midfield without a destroyer in the midfield,
I
without
mean
a hard
That'd be
tackler in the
fun.
midfield?
I don't know what he's gonna do at this point, to be honest. I mean
Yo,
logic makes sense to play Endo
you
there,
are
but
frightening me. You are frightening me, Gags.
We're toast if he
And the
does.
reason why you're frightening me is that I'm actually thinking that he may just well do that. You know.
he might just do it. You just never know because he trusts Jones as well in the six. How many times have you played him there?
But not as a six.
Not at a 6.
No,
I trust
double
Jones
pivot.
too, but
Like I said, double pivot or you play Endo. That's it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I've got to shoot.
Okay, bro.
All right, man.
Great
Thanks for
catching
having
up,
me,
man.
man.
I'll catch up
Take
with you
care,
again
man.
soon. Good to
All right, man.
hear from you, Gags and Albert.
Okay.
And big up the chat.
Okay.
All right, man. Catch you in a bit, man.
Up the
Bye,
Reds.
bye, bye.
Big up everyone that's tuned in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you can like and subscribe, that'd be great. I'm on the road to 200. This was K-Max channel. Up the Reds. Bye. From me and my dog. Bye.